welcome to another episode of Modern Day Thrive. I'm your host, Dean Baker. With me to my immediate left is Gene Culver.
What's
Gene,
up, man?
Yeah, we can adjust the camera for you. But
Really?
if this
Am I?
is,
Where?
you're
it's-
just a little off center here because
Oh.
you walked in literally like 5 minutes ago.
You always
so,
say
you
that.
know,
I was here 20 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago. I don't know. and then to Gene's left is George Weber. Welcome, George. And George,
Yeah,
yeah,
George.
you're in the dark a little bit over there. So,
But he doesn't
Hey,
have on a black shirt today, though.
No.
and he doesn't have a black shirt. He'd be like,
I'm not doing that again.
He'd be like Batman's Two-Face. He'd be like, if you come in with a coin, I'm leaving right now. You're dead or alive. So, you know what? This is like, I think, the first week we've done the show when all
I
hell
was about to say.
hadn't.
Hey, no.
Better
wait.
start.
All right, I'm
Let's
not going
talk
to say
about
that.
it in an hour.
Let's not. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Drink. Yay. Welcome to a
You know why?
successful beginning of a show.
Because it was going to be last week, but we skipped. You think anybody missed us?
Well, yeah,
Of course they
I
did.
meant to come online and just let people know, just hey, we're taking the week off, but I hope everyone had a happy
Veterans Day,
Veterans Day,
Labor Day.
Labor Day, Labor Day.
It was
all
Labor- it
day.
was Labor Day.
It was Labor Day.
Yeah.
I was almost going to say Memorial Day. No, that's not a wrong one. Yeah, but we got a new ticker on the bottom of our screen. It's showing the call in and the show, the name of the show. So we're using StreamYard at the moment.
There you go.
So even though we're not currently streaming in 1080, we're streaming in 720p, but we're also live to Facebook as well as YouTube today. So yeah, and I'm gonna have to go in and double check, make sure there's even something there. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited for just a new look, a new new things,
Yeah.
a new September, a new this is our first show of September, and we hope everyone had a happy, restful, peaceful, healthy Labor Day.
So shout out to Jade.
Just say day off.
Jade,
Yeah.
I know
We got to
You
get her
know,
in here.
we got
You know what we're going to do from now? Let's just do the
We're
show
gonna-
at her house.
Jade, put a pot of chili on. We're coming to your house.
We're coming to your house next.
Yeah, because you want 3 grown men with a pot of chili, in your house. She's already got a house full of, her son, her husband, and she's got
Right.
enough men in her house. So I
Yeah.
don't think she needs any more.
I think she's
So-
got to show up.
Yeah. She's got to show up. Are we going to get her on StreamYard so she can actually just
Yeah.
Jump in.
jump in and participate?
Absolutely.
Hey, Jade, if you're out there just checking in with us, we miss you. We love you. We want you here. And that's all I got to say about that. All right. So how things been going, guys? It's been a couple weeks.
It's been good, man. Been thriving. Everything's good. Business is good. Keeping things moving, of course. And we've been growing on the web. How about you, George?
Staying busy as
Yeah.
always.
What did you bring us today?
Actually,
Bring that mic closer to you, George. No, just pivot the microphone a little. Just
this.
see the whole thing has got like a kind of a thing there.
I don't think I can get any closer.
All
than
right,
that.
never mind. Go ahead.
So, as we were looking at things to do, I was kind of watching YouTube the other day, and I was like, I saw this girl in there, and she was showing you how to make a basket with these.
I thought we could smoke it. Okay, so
Well, you probably
Those are
Those-
pine needles. Are those
Those are
pine
pine
needles?
needles,
Those are
which-
pine. I know your yard, your
which I got a
backyard's got
ton in my yard. And
Yeah.
I'm like thinking
Sorry,
that would be a cool little experiment.
Okay, you're
And
gonna make us
basically,
a
I
thing?
didn't, I didn't bring all the.
I got a bag for you
Okay,
after the
all right.
show. A bag of pine
There you
needles.
go.
I got you, but it's gonna cost you $50. So
It
yeah.
was. It was
I
really
don't just give
interesting.
that
I
stuff away
cash
for
app
nothing.
you.
Yeah, it was very interesting watching her do it, though. It wasn't hard.
To make a basket.
Basically, you just, a straw,
Uh-huh.
about that long, and you pipe these in there, about so many,
Okay.
and you got a needle, yarn, which are both very cost inexpensive, and you've got your pine needles,
Right.
and basically she just wove it up, kept sewing it, and then before you know it, she had a basket.
She
And
had
then
her
she made a
picnic
lid for it and
basket,
everything.
Did you get a picture of this basket?
I can
You
can pull it up
didn't.
on
I can send you a
YouTube.
link to the YouTube video.
You always have
Yeah.
to take a picture if you're going to go to the trouble of bringing in some of your yard clippings.
Or
Well,
you're
into-
going to
into
actually
my
I
have
get
to
the
studio.
actual
No,
YouTube video. We
Listen,
can-
make the basket. We want to see.
I'm
you
actually
make the
gonna. I actually think I am gonna do that because
Yeah, let's see.
trust me, I got enough pine needles in my yard. I got pine trees all over the place. I just didn't have time to do it before
basket.
today.
Okay,
But
cool.
You got to show us what this.
Yeah.
Get a picture of, get a picture of this bag that she
Yeah,
makes.
I'll do that.
And is she selling these bags?
I don't know if she's selling them or not. But I think in someone that's doing
Well,
Etsy, you
how-
could.
Yeah.
You know, why not?
Oh yeah.
It's an awesome thing for Etsy. I've seen,
That's what I think.
And they make ladies handbags out of just about everything.
Yeah.
Bubblegum wrappers to aluminum foil to. Have you ever seen some of these bags?
Oh, it's
if you ever,
amazing.
yeah, I'm sure your wife takes you shopping,
Yeah.
makes you kind of walk when she's bag shopping.
I love that bench in the front where I
the,
get to
the
sit.
bench, the guy bench,
Yeah,
the
the man
place.
bench. Yeah.
That if I don't have a bench up front, I go outside and I'm sure there's a bench within about 20 feet.
Exactly.
Anywhere where there's a women's accessory store,
I
there's
know.
going to be a bench nearby.
Exactly.
Preferably a good Wi-Fi signal and maybe even a bar. I don't know.
Bar's even better.
Bar's even better, but. So yeah, we have to really get her to start doing these. How many kids do you think you can group together and make us about 100 of these bags so we could sell them? I don't know.
It's possible.
Yeah. So
it didn't look hard. I mean, it was just it's time.
yeah.
But you're
And,
saying she sold them.
I don't know if she did or not.
Okay, but you're
But
saying they could
I'm
be
saying
sold.
why not? I
Yeah.
mean, it's something you could easily
Yeah.
make and sell as an authentic item.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's perfect for Etsy.
I think Joanne Fabrics, the places like you got Joanne Fabrics, you've got Michaels and places
Mhm.
like that. You can go in there and buy all that raw material, but you're
Sure.
going to need to see some YouTube videos to determine how to flip that stuff. And turn
Oh,
it into
sure, yeah,
something. But
sure.
yeah,
But
you can do
I happened to come across it. And I'm like, that's something that maybe something doesn't
Yeah.
come across every day.
right, exactly.
So that's kind of why I wanted to bring it up because I thought it was kind of cool.
Absolutely.
And I just I watched the whole video too.
Really.
And it wasn't extremely long, but it was kind of interesting and it looked so neat when she was done. I'm just
Mhm.
like, wow.
So
She made a little lid for it and everything. With
So I got bored this at some point a few times this year, and I went and picked up some paracord, and I was making paracord stuff.
What's
paracord?
Paracord.
Never heard of
Paracord is like parachute cord. It's like the
Oh.
thin cord that it's like you'll find a military person with his bag and it's got paracord all over the thing. It's
okay.
they say that they'll make a bracelet. Have you ever seen a monkey fist paracord? Oh my goodness, I have to just
Dean, you got to
I
do
gotta
this
show
for
you.
us.
All right, so I'd almost like walk away and grab. I made a camera strap out of paracord.
Really?
Basically, the cord is cheap. It's like shoestring.
Mhm.
Okay, think of a shoestring.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can buy 1,000 feet of it for a few dollars. I made a wristwatch band. I made and you can do different patterns and designs and stuff like that. And yeah, it's it's something that it's about as crafty as I'm gonna get. But it's kind of fun. You can do some crazy things. I made a really long, like a 4-foot long camera strap. Okay, but the thing of it is, you make it out of one piece of cord. So out of that one cord, I probably got 300 feet of cord in something. Or you make a wristband, and there's probably like 100 and 150 feet of cord. And if you're ever, it's a survivalist thing. So if you're ever like out in the woods and you need 50 feet of rope,
You got it.
boom, undo it all, and it'll save. They say it'll save your life.
It'll take you a while.
Well,
but-
yeah, but still, it's kind of cool. So that's my version of what your friend did with your yard waste. But yeah, it's kind of cool. So Gene, you said your businesses have been thriving a bit. Anything noteworthy?
November 27th is coming. That's
Yeah.
all I can tell you, right? So that's actually
So
Black
we're looking
Friday.
out, huh?
That's Black Friday. So all the e-commerce
Oh,
stores, all
right.
the people coming around that need to build, they've been coming over and we've been building these e-commerce stores for them, setting them up, helping them with their advertising. And it's I read today there's this big shift in wealth that's been happening over the past 25, 30 years. It's like $50 trillion has been transferred to the 1%. And I think that's because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but one of them is because it's so easy to shop from home. So people are spending, right? And these other guys are getting rich. And so,
Amazon.
well,
yeah,
yeah, the Amazon's only, one of them, right? The Walmarts of the world are competing. Target's online. Everything's
Yeah.
online. Brick and
Best
mortar stores are
Buy.
folding. Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. Yeah, people are just
It's just easier.
or I can order on Best Buy and I can pick up right at the curbside pickup.
Right.
So they're just trying to do everything they can to get you to spend keep spending your money
Yeah.
with them.
Or even better,
Right.
when the adult ice cream truck comes to visit, that's UPS,
Mhm.
right? FedEx and all those guys. So, yeah, a lot of people have been coming to us to get that e-commerce website built and ready for that Black Friday, 27th of
Black
November.
Friday. So what do you
Yeah.
are you selling anything for Black Friday?
Not yet, but we are putting together a
But you're helping
one website.
businesses.
Well, not only are we helping them, but
Yeah.
we're also creating one big website where everything can be sold. So
I stumbled across some things the other day, and I was going into some of the some of the best low cost franchises
oh,
and
what'd you
small
say?
businesses to get into. First
Yeah, I've
I
seen a
started
couple
looking
sites
at
like that. They're
I
pretty
started
cool.
looking at franchises, then I started looking at business ideas, and one of them really I was just kind of searching for 20 best business ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and drop shipping came up number one.
Yeah.
So obviously you're selling products, but you're letting everybody else drop ship.
Yeah.
Meaning,
Yeah, so there's a
that's
couple
the-
ways to go about
yeah.
it. Drop shipping is basically buying stuff and having your vendor actually do the drop shipping for you.
right.
So they're shipping it on your behalf. But at the end of the day, the brick and mortars are starting to fold, particularly during the pandemic. I mean, the
Mhm.
quarantine, no one could go out,
Right.
but you could still buy things online and have those things shipped to you. So everything shifted to e-commerce and e-stores.
Well, if you're selling bags made out of trees, and if you're selling things, and if you're starting to get successful doing so,
Mhm.
then you're going to have orders going, especially if you've got multiple products. So
Yeah.
keeping track of what product is going to who, and
Well, that's easy.
and making sure, well, that's where you find these shipping companies
Mhm.
that you just just park all your product with them, tell
Yeah.
them what needs to go where, and they get orders to fill, and it just goes.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
that's all done on the e-commerce side, and a lot of people are still saying, call me, I'll take your order, but they really should have a website to do that. It really is the most inexpensive assistant they could possibly hire. It'll take all the orders, it'll determine what the shipping is, it'll take the credit card, and it does it 24 hours a day. It'll put them on a mailing list, it'll send them an email when the sale is done. There's follow-up built into it. It's connected with shipping, so it'll charge them for shipping, and then
mhm.
print labels. Like, really, your website's the greatest.
So another business comes up, and I think this has been around forever anyways, but translation, if you speak two or
Oh.
more languages,
Mhm.
of course,
Oh, that's
the big
huge.
competition now is for, because Google does a lot of translating.
Was
Of
that
course,
number 2?
That was number 2.
I believe that. There's a woman that's located here in Orlando, Florida, and she has a translation business. I know a guy a number of years when I sold my company, I worked with him for a little bit. He did the translation, and he did it for all the different languages. So, and for different companies. And I was sitting there in this nice $6 million house down there, and I knew it
Now,
worked.
does he do work through Fiverr?
No.
But Fiverr has, I'm guessing, translation
Not that I'm aware, but
services.
this is
No?
different. This is like
It might have to.
you want to buy something, so you dial into this service, and then they translate. Like the translation business is not only probably written, but
Right.
taking incoming calls, customer service, that kind of thing.
A friend of mine is a signer,
Mhm.
sign language.
Yeah.
And he's in his 70s, and
Mhm.
and he's gone on cruises, and he's gone to theme parks,
Yeah.
and he'll just kind of accompany a group of people, and he'll sign. He'll just do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and they travel, and for a that's part of the translation world, obviously. But I guess if you're multilingual,
Mhm.
then there's always, plus on top of that, you want to get a job teaching English to, if you know Chinese and you want to teach a job, if you want to have a
Yeah.
job teaching English to Chinese audience, you can do that. A
Mhm.
lot of people teach English as long as they know the language that they're teaching from.
But you think about it, let's imagine for a moment you went to a foreign country.
Mhm.
You still would need cable. You still would need to buy things from the store. You need the pharmacy.
Sure.
You need to talk to your doctor. You need all these things, but you're there for a year or 2 years or 3 years. So the US is this big giant melting pot. So imagine these people translating to get all of the things that you take for granted, of course, because we speak English to other
Mhm.
people speak English.
Mhm.
And there's big money in translation.
Oh,
So, and that was number 3. Number 5, I want to jump to.
Wait,
well,
what was number 3?
No, number 3 was actually. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, number 3 is home-based catering. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
it's- yeah.
So wait,
yeah,
is that
hmm.
considered like Uber Eats and that kind of thing, or is
I'm
that just
good question.
delivery?
I'm thinking.
That's not
I'm
catering,
thinking
but
those people that probably cater for weddings and small group
parties
event,
and
party planners and catering.
yeah,
So
home-based catering is
I think
big.
it's around the wedding business because, if you're a good chef, and you can't really work somewhere without,
Right.
I think
that probably
that's
bumped up now because of
that's
the
an
pandemic. Because a
ideal.
lot of the facilities you can't go to for
Yeah.
that big of a party.
So yeah, that was my number 3. I'm waiting to get to number 5 because I've got this is more for you. But number 4 is a virtual assistant. A virtual assistant.
Yes.
That's very big. Yeah.
You know what? You would have someone handle your social media, your
Could be your emails,
Everything.
your
could be whatever, yeah.
emails, and kind of plan your day and take your phone calls.
A lot of the guys I listen to on the
probably.
web, they're talking about setting up these businesses. They're just saying, look, you don't need to do all the work.
Yeah.
He says you can get a virtual assistant for next to nothing.
Well, I know there's
You know,
in
that does all that
Orlando.
menial stuff for you.
In Orlando,
And they
there's
love it.
Yeah.
there's offices that have basically a person answering the phones for 20 different companies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And as a number rings, they answer that company and they take messages and then they translate that back. A friend of mine that I do some work with in webcasting, he's got a virtual office. So I guess if he ever needs a conference room, he can go to that place and use it,
Yeah.
but it's basically a cheap receptionist,
Yeah.
which, and for a company that's got maybe a couple of offices and maybe a couple of conference rooms
Yeah.
and a really big phone line would I would think that business would thrive. A lot of lawyers would use it and just don't want to have the big brick and mortar.
Right. When you're not ready for
know.
that big, expensive overhead of an office and electric bill and insurance and all those things, you can get yourself a virtual office and have someone answer telephone, collect your mail there. It's perfect.
So number 5, website flipping. Now I didn't realize there are companies out there that buying an already running website and they buy it, they redesign it, and then they flip it.
Yeah, it's just like a house. So at the end of the day, the truth is you have cyber real estate, just like you have regular real estate. So anyone who would purchase, let's say, go out and buy a home and redo the floors, redo the ceiling, repaint everything, redo the driveway, and everything that you would do to it to get it ready to go to market, and then you flip it. It's the same thing with websites. So you could buy a website and or build it,
Right.
refurbish it, flip it, make it look great, and turn it back out to the marketplace, particularly if it already has traffic.
Yeah,
It's
that's where your
making money.
value is going to be. Your value in the real estate of the website is basically based on the amount of eyes,
Yeah, eyes are part of it.
And they'll know that
flipping
going
it-
into it. Is that they're not going to buy it if you don't have eyes. More
Well-
likely.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, probably if you make it
Unless
look
you have
good.
a really good name.
If you've
No,
got
if it looks good, that's part of it. But the other side is like, it's not just the name. There are people who will build a website, pack it with products and services,
Yeah,
connect you with
sure.
the vendor on the back end, which is like buying a new house or used house, right? But in this case, it's like buying a new house. And then it's like a business in a box.
Yeah.
So it's got all the
yeah.
watches in it. It has all of the t-shirts on it.
Yeah.
It has everything in it that you need. All you have to do is stroke a check. So people are always making that decision in business. Do I build it or do I buy it?
Yeah.
And somebody, when I sold my company, the guy said, I could probably go and build this over a period of 2 or 3 years, but this is instant revenue for us. And so he bought the business from me. He bought a couple of them from me. They were all websites that we flipped. Yeah, it's big business to be able to do that.
Let's, I'm sure once a business is already getting traffic, once a website's already getting traffic, it's probably a lot easier
Sure.
dealing with, creating some value out of it.
Yeah,
Obviously, it means it's good to have an ace in the hole, which means I know what he's missing. I know how to jump it up 20, 30%. So
Right.
let's get in cheap and bring some more value
so
to it.
those
and
are
get
your
out.
recurring customers who come back all the time. They buy from you. Their credit cards on file. They love what it is that you have. But traffic is not the hardest thing. It's really designing it to make it look like a place that people want to spend their money. The real tough, challenging part for most people is knowing how to get that traffic. The Google,
Oh
and
yeah, that
Facebook,
is the business.
tons and tons of
You,
traffic.
you don't have a business without eyes on it.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Yeah. And I always tell people kind of stay out of that side of it at some point. Like
What, the traffic
no,
side?
stay out of doing it, right? Because you can't get A's in everything. So stay
Yeah.
out of that part. Just go get into the part that you do really, really well.
Right.
Maybe that's the back end. Maybe that's facilitating. Maybe that's talking to vendors. But that front part where you have to create highly targeted ads, to that niche market,
Mhm.
that's the part that you want to outsource to someone else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That absolutely.
Well, jumping down the list, and website flipping. Very next one, Jade, if you're out there listening, personal shopper.
Yeah.
I almost can't say anything because this is Jade's backyard. Because she's done more of the personal shopping and the she's the queen of side hustle. She has
Mhm.
she has built an empire, I think, on some of this stuff. So number 7 jumps to online tutoring. Absolutely, and tutoring in everything. I mean, obviously you can't get tutored in brain surgery, but I've taught photography, video production, animation, a lot of different things in my field. Not so much online, but we are also working on some things with what was it? Instructable learning.com. I mean, all these
Yeah.
sites out there
Teachable.
teachable, right?
Mhm.
And you just pick what and you jump in and people, if you create the video content, of course, now on top of the online tutor, you have to have a way to take your message, dress it up, make a nice video, and drop it out there. And that, I gotta tell you, that's a big part. It still involves what I do, because not everybody, they might shoot something with their cell phone, and of course they probably have an app they can edit with their cell phone, and they can do all these things with their cell phone. And funny thing is, I did one about a week or so ago, and I sent it to you guys. And
Did you upload it?
Well, I didn't upload it yet. No, I didn't upload it yet. But I'm trying to get a pattern of how I want to. I'm trying to, be a consistent pattern. So I want to make sure that I've got the right content going out at the right date, and I just don't want to
Mhm.
let it pile up. I want to pick a good strategy. I
Sure.
want to be strategic about how I start creating these videos, because I made a video of myself jogging one morning, and that'll come out eventually. And then I got into this other video, this other online application that lets the average person make videos, which is probably that one I showed you with the pictures and the video. And that was an app that I'll have to kind of look around and see if I can find it again, because I haven't used it in a week. But anyway,
So wait, so your goal, you're thinking, is to get involved in creating these teachable and
oh yeah,
Udemy
I'm
type
I'm
courses?
actually in the middle of producing a series on a DIY filmmaker series.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing more lucrative than having passive income. Like just
Oh, yeah.
meaning multiple streams of passive income.
Yeah.
Actually, that's how people get rich.
I shoot it right here in the studio.
Yeah.
I take the glass down. It's just one person. I
Mhm.
got the monitor in the background. Sometimes I'll put up a different
Yeah.
graphic, or there's even a time where I have taken another camera, feed that camera shot into that TV. So when you're looking at me, you're also looking at what my hands are doing on the TV.
Perfect.
So this is a perfect kind of scenario where you
Mhm.
can come in here. I can set up even a teleprompter right there on the camera and just sit here and talk and actually
Yep.
present myself as someone with some intelligence and not flub a word like I'm flubbing now.
But you know
not
what
reading
you're
a
doing.
script right now, which
Yeah.
you can tell. But when we sit here and I can spit out a 3-minute video.
Yeah.
And it's these teachable videos, these online teaching videos, they need to be like 2 to 4 minutes.
Mhm.
They
Right.
want it to be 2 to 4
Just a
minutes and do
section, yeah.
lots of them.
Yeah.
Have 15 different sequences of,
Yeah.
of videos. Oh, let's jump into number 3. Number 3 is only 2 minutes long. Wow, that's great. I can learn filmmaking in 2 minutes. Well, one aspect of filmmaking
Sure.
in 2 minutes, but the idea is if you produce it and make it a little dynamic,
Yeah.
then they'll respond to it. And yes, so we are, in fact, our director Sean tonight back in the control room, he's helped working with me on some of these videos, and I think we're on video number 3 right now. Out of I'm thinking we're gonna get to about 8, and then we'll release that series.
Section.
And one of the first videos is how to make a film with your cell phone.
Yeah.
What to do, what not to do, and
You can get great footage from your phone.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and just the fact that everybody has one. If you have a smartphone, you can do this if you choose to. So if you're in business and and part of being in business is you have to create these, like those 2 videos I created a couple weeks,
Right.
last couple weeks. You have to create stuff like that to put it out there to get more attraction to whatever it is you're talking about.
All
Your
right. So I want to
website,
cheat
your-
a little. I want to cheat a little.
Yeah,
So I know
cheat
you're
away.
working on it.
Yeah.
So when you're done with it on your phone,
Yes.
no matter what you've created,
Yes.
is it better to hand that over to someone else to edit it professionally to get that final looking product that you want? Or do you think, because there's color
Okay,
balancing,
okay.
there's
Absolutely. Let me respond. You remember the 2 videos that
Yes.
I gave you? One
Yes.
was me jogging, holding it on the
Yes.
side,
right.
which is kind of raw.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of raw, but it was
Yeah, it was
just
good.
out
Yeah.
there, just and we'll show that before the next week comes up. We'll show that.
Okay.
So that video is kind of raw, but the other video that was pictures with some graphics,
Yes.
and it was a collage with some music.
Yes.
That was done on an app that took me. I mean, it gives you access to a database of pictures, and it creates and it does all the editing, but you can do that yourself. Now, with a lot of these apps, you don't always get the full versatility as to something that I can do,
Right.
but you can do a lot of interesting things
Okay.
with certain apps online, and the average person can spend 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks
Mhm.
on this app and and start creating videos. And you've seen them all. You've seen them. You've been on Facebook, and all of a sudden there's this little sequence of slideshow running, and it's really
Mhm.
dynamic, and it's pushing in, pulling out
Right.
with graphics, and it's really neat. And most of these are apps that everyday Joe is creating. Now, if you're bang out of the gate, if you're an accountant, it's going to take you a while to figure it out. Now, how much of that time do you want to invest in creating videos?
Right.
Now this is where the filmmaker Dean shows up and says, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to
Yeah.
spend the time?
Mhm.
I almost have to tell people, do it once. Go ahead and do it once.
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead and do it once.
once.
Like, I spent 12 hours making
Right.
this 30-second video that I made in 5 minutes.
Right.
I'm like, you really want to, I thought you wanted to be an accountant, or I thought you wanted to be
Right.
a nurse or a website. But
Yeah.
So, because a lot of website people make videos.
Sure.
And they use these apps.
Right.
They use these apps. And I can't even go through Facebook without seeing an ad for whiteboard videos.
Yeah,
Or
I have a bunch of those. Yeah.
explainer. You bought them, right? You bought how
I've
often?
created a lot of those
Yeah.
videos. I mean, you're really, but what's built into it is really great software. But when you're actually shooting a film, the struggle is that you're going to miss the stuff that you can add, like
Right.
a voiceover in the right spot, an edit in the right spot, the
Oh,
different types of
they're
fade,
completely
color
limited because
balancing.
the first time you go, I would really like that over
Right, and
here
it's not gonna
or
happen.
over here.
Yeah.
And you're talking to a computer that's going, not
Right.
gonna do it.
That's
Not
right.
gonna do it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
go find a guy.
Right.
And a lot of times some of my clients will
Yeah.
actually, I've got this one client here in Orlando. They've been with me for 20 years. Okay. And some guy in the middle management goes in and say, hey, let's do one of these whiteboard videos. So they get their IT guy because he works
They
with
assume,
computers,
yeah,
so he
yeah.
must know. You call
can
the
do it.
IT guy, and of course they hand the IT guy, here's the credit card, go spend $100 and get a subscription for this whiteboard video.
Right.
And then they go, now what am I going to do?
Yeah,
And that
exactly.
IT guy is probably going to go, the network's down for a week, but he's
in there making
he's
videos.
figuring out how to do these explainer videos and with a whiteboard. We all
Right.
see them every day, and
Right.
and I and then I'll talk to my contact at this company and go, what the hell are you guys doing?
Right.
And go, and they'll make maybe one video,
Right.
and then they'll call me and go, Dan, how do you do this?
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you know what? I had the same client 1 year. Somebody came into the company with all new ideas and said, we're going to spend, they got them to spend like $20,000 on a series of videos or something that were all based on like that technology, and the guy got fired because
Of
he
course.
talked them into spending it.
Yeah.
And
Didn't do anything.
and it was like, what the hell are you,
Right.
and I'm going, are you sure you won't? It's kind of
I'll see you
too
in a
late.
couple of months.
I can't say
Yeah.
because I'm conflicted. I'm saying, well, you need to be
Yeah.
hiring me to do it
Right.
for you.
See you in a couple
But
of
I
months.
gotta tell you, listen, that guy ain't with the company anymore. That was his
Right.
exit plan there. I'm gonna get you guys to spend 20 grand and then I'm gonna leave. Well,
Yeah.
that was weird.
Yeah.
Something happened just with the audio. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
But
so-
but no, you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, guys like myself who can build websites in their sleep and shopping carts and things like that, don't let me touch your computer. I have no idea. Like, I don't want to touch your computer. And then the people who are really good at graphics normally are not good at web development. People at web development, it's like another side
Oh,
of
yeah.
the brain,
Yeah.
to be able to do graphics.
or you just think that your word processing is your graphics.
and it looks like it.
because that's really what a lot of. I'm not trying to, but there's a lot of just basically word processing in
Mhm.
website building.
Yeah.
Well, it's a CMS, a content management system.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But that'll only get you but so far.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who use CMS, content management systems, and it looks like it. The website builders look like they've been built.
See, my biggest problem over the last 20 years is that I build my own websites. That's my biggest
Yeah,
problem.
the filmmaker making
but
websites.
well, right.
That's okay.
Because
Trying
and then
every
you
software
try
out
and
there.
you try and learn, and there was a time when I was using this software I bought at a store, and
Front page?
it was called WebEx.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's this company, this $40 program called the WebEx, and it was a WYSIWYG program.
Sure.
It wrote HTML, and it wasn't like front page. But yeah, I would try that, and for the most part, I was kind of doing what I needed to do. But the second you need to go into code, the
Right.
second you need to fix the
God,
problem
interesting.
that the WYSIWYG,
Yeah.
programs tell you to
WYSIWYG
do-
is what it
What
is
you
it?
see is
It's
what you get,
Yeah,
you
what you
know,
see.
which means you're not writing code, you're writing your visual.
Yeah.
You know, and like WordPress now is got a visual editor,
Yes.
which is WYSIWYG.
But you
Yeah.
can go into
And
HTML.
then you can swap over to HTML
Oh,
and
sure.
actually look at your code and go, yeah, see what it did there? That's wrong.
Right.
I need to fix that, and
Yeah.
or I need to put in a counter, and I need to drop in some code here and there and everywhere. So, but yeah, but there was a time before Flash came along when it was a lot simpler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when in the 90s, late 90s, when I was starting to build a site, you know, you could actually do it and not be completely horrible at it with a decent WYSIWYG program.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you know, yes, you can do it in all these programs, you know, like WordPress. But there's so much else going on in the background that you just don't know. Just learning the template. Not one template is anything like the
Yeah.
other template. So, and you know this because
Yeah. Go ahead.
you know this because it's just a it's a thing. You know, you just have to bear through it. So yeah, I kind of have ideas on what I want. I'm skeptical about my abilities to get there, you know. But what I'll do is like with our site, which we haven't
Mhm.
done a whole lot to, is I'll probably go in and make it look horrible, and then ask you to go in and fix it. So,
I've been asking
you've been waiting.
about
Yes,
it. I'm
I know.
waiting.
I
I'm
know.
just
I know.
waiting.
You're waiting on it. You know, it's
Yeah.
been a hell of a week. This
Yeah.
week, this last week, I have spent. We rebuilt the studio for a friend of mine. She wrote and produced a 30-minute sitcom.
Mhm.
Arlene from the OIF group.
Mhm.
She got a bunch of us together, and so if you go into the back studio, you're gonna see a completely redesign. It looks like the show is called Teachers Lounge.
Oh, nice.
So it looks like an old high school teachers lounge kind of thing, and that's what we did. So I just came off 2 days of filming.
Yeah.
Before that, 3 days of building the set and the studio and all that. Looks great.
Yeah.
Looks
I like
great.
Arlene. She's super smart. I like her.
She's a sweetheart, and she did a great job, and we all pitched in and helped, and hope, you know, fingers crossed, you know,
Yeah.
something will come of it. So
It will.
yeah, if she's a go-getter, she's a definite thriver.
Mhm.
You know, we'll try and get her on the show maybe one day.
Cool.
So anyway, but that was kind of, you know, that's as far as I think I probably want to go with this thing.
What else
you
did
know?
you find on the list? Anything good there?
Oh,
What can
I'm
George
just gonna
do
go
with
down.
this basket stuff? That's what I
yeah.
want to know.
I think
Smoke it.
I don't smoke it. Yeah,
Who's gonna be
insure
like-
it for a lot of money and burn it. I don't
what
know.
I usually use it for is to
Yeah.
start my fires in my backyard. It works great for that.
There you go.
On this list after online tutoring was greeting cards. Really? Greeting cards? I don't know. Content writing, WordPress support. Look at that.
Mhm.
Career coaching. Somebody who likes to tell other people what to do with their life. But, you know, that's not going to work for an 18-year-old because you just can't tell an 18-year-old what to do these days. Email marketing. See, email marketing. I got to tell you, there are big companies out there that you can, you know, like what is it, Squirrel Mail and
Yeah. But okay, things like Aweber and iContact and some of the other stuff that's Constant Contact. I mean,
right.
So that's the software.
Yeah. Okay.
But the ability to collect the names and the email addresses, to create the landing and the squeeze pages, to create the drip campaign that goes behind the capturing of the email addresses so
Mhm.
that people are getting a consistent message from you.
All the upsells.
And then that in itself is marketing by itself.
Mhm.
And that's something you really want to outsource to someone else. Because
Yeah.
you have to know how to write sales copy to get people to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, I
So
you
wanna
know,
keep
but
reading.
that's a good list though. Those are the kind of things that people need to know about in order to thrive and get to the next level.
you know, a lot of these I just don't see a whole lot of, you know, I don't know. A lot of these things, I just don't see a whole lot of interest in my world. you
Right. They
know?
don't interest
They,
you.
they don't
Yeah.
interest me.
What
which
else? What on there
I
doesn't
would-
interest you? Tell
Yeah,
me.
what else doesn't interest me? Okay, so I started kind of, I continued my search, and I went to like best low cost franchises, and I sticking in the low cost area because nobody's got pockets full of money, and if you have pockets full of money, chances are you don't need money, or you don't pockets full of money. I'm talking,
You always need money. Everybody-
I've seen some for 10 grand. I mean, there's
right.
Okay,
So
what'd you-
top
That's
of the
just the
list, top
licensing
of the
of the
list,
franchise.
and I'm not sure if this predates or postdates the our current virus situation, but cruise planners.
Predates.
I mean, obviously predates, but and
Yeah.
then they say,
Might get for a discount now.
you can start your own cruise business for as little as like $10,000 initial investment, anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000.
Well, yeah, because you're buying the ability to dial into a system and,
Yeah.
and book out of it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh.
Same with
See, now,
airlines. all the
I
other
have
ones, yeah.
personal experience in this because I have people that I know that are into the cruise business, and I know, and I think this is a really bad idea as a startup because
Yeah.
first of all,
Today it
you
is
can't,
anyway.
let's go before pandemic.
Yeah.
I think this is a bad idea only because unless you're willing to start your franchise and hire 50
Yeah.
agents.
Yeah.
I think what you're doing is those big call centers, they have so much output, so much revenue going through there with each cruise line that they get a higher percentage, which means they can they got more gap to cut, so they can undercut anybody else. So if I were competing, because it's very competitive.
Well, you
there.
also got to be able to be found, and
Well,
know.
let's go beyond being found. If you're a big company that's got 100 agents making calls all day long and in the same system, first of all, you're probably getting a higher commission from the cruise line than the little guy who just opened up an office with one phone and I'm gonna do it, but we're talking, I might be 10% commission, you might be 15 to 20% commission. So
I don't think that's the person though this is built for. I think this is built for the person who,
for a $10,000 investment,
no, I think the $10,000 investment is an add-on to your existing business for corporate planning. So if your job is to handle all the corporate travel for the person who travels around the country, in addition to that, you can handle their vacation. I think it's just an add-on for you.
well, obviously, it should be customer service.
Well, everything, yeah.
It should be more about customer. It's about, I'm calling you because it's about what you know.
Right. Plus, you
and-
trust me. You've purchased from me before. I handle your flights.
From you, but it
your
still
hotels.
gets down to that dollar. And if you can't give me what I can get over here at that
That
same price
depends.
point, I gotta
That
tell you, there's a
depends.
lot of people shopping around, going to the
depends.
box clubs.
I mean, it's who you know, it's who you trust, it's the other stuff that you bundle in with it. I'm going to take care of your hotel when you get there. I'll handle your rental car. And not only that, it's on top of that, it's like I'm going to make this one phone call to the person who has my credit card on file. I'm going to tell them what I need. They know the type of car that I need. I don't have to sit there.
back
It's
in the
like
day,
building
we
your
used to
own website.
we used to call a person to handle our flights.
Exactly. Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
Nobody handles.
No.
You handle your own
You
flights,
just go to the
or
web and
you get your secretary
cheapest
to handle
flights.
your flights. And that's
But have you
pretty
ever
much
tried to
it.
do multiple things like the rental car and then the hotel?
Sure.
And then
Cheaptickets.com.
everything all in one. Yeah, all in one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like I said, I've had very
Yes.
personal connection with this, and I just see so many flaws in making this number one
I agree.
best low cost franchise.
well, if you're doing it as a
just-
singular thing, yeah.
Okay.
and not from the pandemic. Now it'd be like, well, the problem is they're probably picking up again because they're planning that they're going to be cruising in 2021.
Mhm.
Maybe
Right.
late 2021. So they're pre-purchasing. And the thing about cruises, people buy cruises 2 years out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to
yeah.
buy them knowing that they can get their money back.
I
Mhm.
don't know about that.
Oh
part.
yeah. Because
I've never heard the
someone I knew, she was she sold a lot of cruises, and she probably spent the first few months of the pandemic just canceling cruises because you can cancel up until like a month out.
I had Carnival take my money. Period. Point
Really?
blank. Yeah, man.
They
They took my money. They wouldn't give it back. Carnival was horrible. They
Uh,
took, yeah. And so
was it pandemic related?
No, it wasn't pandemic related. No, it was just that something had come up and we couldn't go.
Was it last minute?
It was like, it wasn't even.
Was it a month within a month?
We had somebody that was sick in the family, and we kind of knew that at that time we needed to be around, and we couldn't. And so when
Travel
we called them,
insurance?
we were like, "Hey, listen, we'll just keep the money, give us something out, a little for." Nope,
Yeah.
nope. That was
You didn't
Carnival.
buy travel insurance.
That was Carnival. That was everything.
That
So
might
what
have
I'm
been
saying is-
everybody, especially if someone gets sick.
Yeah.
It's if they got sick, it's probably been within a couple of weeks, which means
Yeah.
you're at default. Which means if you
Well,
have to
what
cancel,
I should have done was said,
that's
"I don't
it.
feel well. I'm coming anyway."
Where's
Where's your buffet? Let me see
Where's
your
the buffet? No,
But
really,
yeah,
it's
okay.
but travel insurance and you said Carnival Cruise, so you probably spent $500-600 for one or two people to go on a
It
cruise.
was like 7 for 2,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
We got upgraded.
5-nighter or something like
Right,
that.
something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
And so, chances are you would have spent maybe $50 on travel insurance and that would all come back to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You
we'll
know,
keep that in
so-
mind next time.
Hey,
because-
I've been cruising for 10 years.
Really?
10 Yeah, I've been cruising. I was cruising in the 90s too, but yeah, I've cruised a lot. So usually that travel insurance and get off Carnival.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well, we know better than that.
God.
We don't go Carnival.
You're a
anymore.
quality guy.
Yeah,
I'm
we
like,
don't go
what are you
Carnival anymore.
doing
That
on
was going back about
Carnival?
7 years ago. 8 years
Okay,
ago. Yeah.
okay. You were younger,
Yeah.
you're less informed, but dude, get off Carnival because
Yeah, nobody wants to do Carnival anymore.
I mean, you can get drunk on any cruise.
Right,
You
yeah,
know,
like
you
Carnival.
don't need to be surrounded by 118-year-old drunks. You just don't.
Right.
Loud music. You're going to go, where the hell on this ship am I going to find a quiet spot?
Right.
You know, I cruise on, I've
Royal
cruised on
Caribbean?
Royal Caribbean
Yeah,
and they
done
have
that
this solarium kind of thing where they
Mhm.
don't let the kids in. And it's like
Mm.
this Greek bath and it's like soft music and it's shade everywhere.
too. Wow.
And you can walk into different levels of pools and you got running water and you can go pass out on a really comfortable couch kind of thing.
Mm.
And oh my God, Royal they just do it right. You know,
Nice.
someone explained to me cruises that a good relationship with cruises is how much they spend per person per day on food for you. Okay.
It's a lot.
Well, let's just I'm just making numbers up,
Yeah.
but let's just say Carnival spends $6 per person per day
Okay.
for you on food.
What about Royal Caribbean?
Probably 10.
Okay, extra $4. That gets
Disney,
the muffin, the muffin and
Disney,
the coffee.
maybe 12, 14.
Ooh.
And then it goes up from there.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
if you start thinking about it,
Yeah.
just on the food fact alone,
Right.
Yeah.
you're
eating much better. Even
Oh,
cruising
cruising is the way to go.
but jumping from a Carnival ship to something other than that, then yeah, they are spending more getting you that food. So,
He's gonna.
Hey, I
punt-
love
He's
cruises.
gonna punt down that
it's
10
been-
grand. And
I
he's gonna
haven't
open up.
I
that-
haven't cruised in about 10 months. I went last October, November last year. Did a little 3-nighter going to
Bahamas and back. You can do like-
Bahamas and
yeah.
back. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we're great in Florida. We can do
Yeah.
that. We can hop a ship on Friday.
Yep.
Be back Monday morning. Be back in the office by noon Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's great. And you might, last minute deals. You might spend $200 a person.
Mhm.
Where are you going to eat great
Mm-hmm.
and get a nice hotel for
Right. And
3
increase the room.
nights for
Yeah.
$200
Okay.
per person? Yeah.
All right. What's second
Anyway,
on that list of franchises?
So cruise planners, I think, is a bad. There's this thing called Fit for Mom.
I like that.
Grown out of the popular stroller stride fitness programs for mothers.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
Your own little mini franchise, Fit for Mom.
Yeah.
So let's briefly.
The initial investment $6,000 to $24,000. Franchise fee $5,000 to $10,000. So
Yeah. So we just need to understand that franchises are a bigger grown-up version of multi-level marketing companies. They teach you how to sell, what to sell, how to make presentations. They give you all of the branding. They just give you everything that you need to go out
Well,
and
take a minute.
start.
They're
and
supposed to
run.
give you a book. Okay.
Right. They give you everything.
Here's how that business is run.
Here's how that business runs. Whereas most people start a business, they'll say to you, like if I said to you right now, or I said to you, George, hey, you guys, we're going to get together. They're going to give us $100,000 this week. All we've got to do is go run the local McDonald's.
Yeah.
They're not going to teach us anything. We're going to burn some fries, burgers. We don't know how to run the register. We don't know what time to open, when to close, how to change it. Like, so there's a lot of stuff we don't know.
Oh yeah.
Whereas the franchise,
I know someone who just opened up a 7-Eleven in the last couple of years.
Why? You could open up a Wawa. No, I don't know if Wawa's, but
and you know what? Really, the biggest thing with him is, what happens if a Wawa? He says, I ain't worried about Wawa.
Yeah.
It was like, I think he said
I would.
racetrack. Racetrack is the one I'm
Really?
I'm
That's
you know,
interesting.
hell on afraid of they're going to move in across the street.
is that a
And
more
I'm like,
of a
really?
competitor?
Wow. I guess so. I think from what I heard, it was like racetrack versus, 7-Eleven's mortal enemy or something.
Okay,
like that,
gotcha.
I don't know, but
I haven't
but
seen
it's a lot of money.
open in years, but
It's a thing.
Wawa you
It's
have.
a thing. If you
Yeah.
want to carve out, you want to put the money in. Maybe it's a $250,000 investment into a 7-Eleven, and you want to carve out $60,000 a year income, and you're filtering how many millions of dollars through your business for 7-Eleven,
Mhm.
the gas, the branded foods, and all that stuff. You're basically pimping out somebody else's product, and you're paying them to do it. So they're double, triple dipping into your back pocket. So you're doing all this. You're filtering money for somebody else, some bigger corporation. And that's how I see franchises. You have to buy their food, their products, their service, their protection, and their,
right. I know, I got that one.
Their strong arm.
But it's a business in a box, and so if you look at the
all to
flip side
carve
of that,
out $60,000 or $80,000 a year.
and that
something
might
like
be
that.
up to you whether you grow at 60,000, 70, 80, 100,000.
And
But
you have to
the-
license it every year.
Yeah,
Well-
but the truth is that most people fail.
Yeah.
So if you start and open up the local cupcake place and you fail,
Yeah.
you're better off making the 60 or 70 grand being your own boss.
Well, they say that in order to do it, you can't have one franchise. You got to have 4 of them,
Right.
You gotta
5 of
own an
them.
area.
right.
And then you have to hire people to do stuff for you,
Sure.
and you take a smaller piece of multiple businesses. So in a way,
That's
I'm
smart.
not sure. Yeah, but it sounds like a lot of headache. Yeah, you could probably
No,
pull
being-
down $250,000 a year after so many franchises, but you start thinking about it. I am filtering millions of dollars
Yeah, that's
to,
good.
to some other company.
Yeah,
You-
yeah, because
And it could all go away if Racetrack moves in across the street.
Hey, racetrack, let's compete. But listen, you know what's actually a bigger headache? Being broke.
Yeah.
Being
Right.
broke is its own
But
nightmare.
it's busy. I hear from them and I go, I got to get up at 6 a.m., 4 o'clock in the morning every day and get in there, and my employees steal from me. And I got to make sure my cameras are pointing in every direction. And I got vendors that are stupid and this, that, and the other, all the headache that comes along with it. And I was like, oh God, I can see myself getting old, losing what little hair I have left on my head and going. So, I'm not a huge fan of franchise. I mean, all right, let's
Yeah.
look at this. Subway.
There could be one out
They've
there.
had
that's good, though.
Subway's had a tumultuous ride over the last 40 years.
Oh yeah.
Let's throw the big one out. Jared, went to prison.
That's
He
not
was-
fair.
But he
had
was
anything
their
to do with it.
golden boy. He
He
was their
was, but they-
golden goose. And then he gets arrested and is serving time in prison for doing.
But that wasn't Subway's
hor-
fault. That was
No, it wasn't. But
yeah.
but
That's like blaming.
But the people who bought that franchise the month before,
Mhm.
all the people who bought that franchise,
it didn't hurt him.
You don't think it hurt?
No,
them?
it didn't hurt him.
I think
those-
everybody got hurt just a little bit, even for a
I don't
little
think
while.
so. I don't think so. I think those brands are strong enough to stand. I mean, if someone can, do you remember the Tylenol thing? The brand stood. People
but
still
they're-
buying BP gas, and they literally set the ocean on fire. I mean, it just at the end of the day, the brands are strong enough, and that's the difference between
People
having
forget.
a franchise or starting your own business. Well, the problem is everything has a shelf life, right?
Mhm.
So whatever happened to
How
someone,
many Quiznos do you see these days? I
don't know. Well,
loved Quiznos.
I don't like crunchy sandwiches. Was that a crunchy, like they baked it or something?
They bake the bread, sure.
Yeah. I don't like
I
that.
haven't seen
I
one.
loved Quiznos, and they're
Yeah. Wait a minute,
gone.
what
Or
hap-
at
so
least
what
they're
happened?
gone in Florida.
Well, the
I don't-
fireman one I
well,
think went
you know.
downtown too. I mean, I haven't seen them in a while.
What, fire station?
Fire-
Firehouse
fire-
Subs?
Firehouse
I
Subs.
haven't-
Oh, they're
There's-
around.
There's
No,
not
they're
many.
good.
There's not as many as there used to be though. I
Oh.
think they kind
Now
of.
it's
yeah.
now it's the Jimmy John's.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a
Which-
lot of lettuce. I mean, I had one of those sandwiches.
They're good sandwiches, but it's
Are
just a
they?
sandwich.
Yeah.
It's just or look at Sobix. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd have to be really hungry and see a Sobix, and I'd have to go,
Well, what's wrong with Sobix? I've never had one, but
well, it's been around forever.
Okay.
And they haven't even Subway redesigned their look.
yeah.
They're trying to constantly, they went from steaming their sandwiches to actually toasting them.
Okay.
I don't know when that happened. That
I
was
think that's
like,
been a while,
but even still, at one time, and even Firehouse, they were steaming their bread, putting them in a steamer, and what you get out is
soft,
gooey, soggy, hot bread.
Ugh.
And I remember at Firehouse, and I stayed away from Firehouse for the longest time. Even Subway would do that. They put it in like a steamer. And of course, I was watching a show on Modern Marvels, and the Magic Chef oven, which got all the sub shops, wound up getting one because it is the ultimate oven, the Magic Chef oven, because it can cook. That's a client. I don't think he wants to talk on the air.
No,
but,
it doesn't.
But
So let me say that if we find a franchise or someone who's interested in a franchise, we have a lot of backers who want to invest in opening up that franchise and multiple
Really?
franchise. Yeah. So they want to come
we
together.
meaning you've got
meaning-
people in some of your business incubation.
they want
kinda-
they want to open up franchises, and they want to open up build.
Well, the
businesses
number
like
3
that.
here, ChemDry, which is a carpet cleaning service. So
Yeah.
lots of carpets out there.
Yeah.
Decent investment. Well, the investment looks like it could be quite hefty, probably because you need trucks and a lot of
and trucks.
equipment.
Yeah.
Trucks and equipment.
Big hoses.
I don't think, yeah, ChemDry. So and they've been around forever. They've been around since the 70s, founded in 77. All right, here's one I haven't heard of in a while: Jazzercise.
Is that the one where you put the thing
That's-
in between your thighs and you?
No, this is just it's one of the original, facilities
No.
where I guess the bored housewife would go and
Okay.
jazzercise, and it was jazz dancing and getting fit to jazz
How
music.
old is that link?
You know what? I gotta tell you, they say it was founded in 69. And
No, but the link that you looked up the top franchises.
You didn't look
Because
at
if
that.
he looks at it like,
updated,
oh,
updated
Circuit
on
Ci-
August
Circuit
12th,
City.
2020. So
Really?
this was updated, and yeah,
Okay.
Jazzercise is stuff. And I was shocked as hell to see that there. It's like I didn't think they were still around. Stratus Building Solutions, Super Glass Windshield Repair. I don't know how many times I have a person walk in my door going, "Do you have any cracks
Yeah,
in
you
your
got any chips in your
windshield? And
windows?"
you know that's insured, right?" And then yeah.
Yeah.
Mosquito Squad, obviously a pest company. Post home inspectors, property management, soccer shots. I don't know. Dream vacations,
Soccer shot.
Lil Kickers. I don't know any of this stuff. I've never heard of any of these, but hey, it's just there are businesses that somebody on the web just obviously pulled together. It was kind of fun seeing some of the stuff that I had never even
No
heard
doubt.
of, but some of it, like website flipping, I wouldn't have even expected that. I wouldn't have expected it just because I'm like, well, I remember the days when the big land rush on domains,
Yeah,
back
it's
in the
still there.
90s.
It's still there.
And
Yeah.
then once in a while you see somebody offering up domains, I'll sell you this domain for $20,000. I'm like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll just put an E in front of it and buy it.
Yeah.
So, but no, it at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who can't afford to start those big businesses. And if you can put that money behind the development of the site, the domain, and then push for the marketing, you can do pretty well.
Well, pizza is a big franchise, with the big, you got Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, all, Little Caesars, all those pizza places. And, but any connoisseur of pizza would go, yeah, I kind of like my, I kind of like my New York style or my
style
Chicago style.
Yeah.
I like that. And you can't get that at those places.
But they sell a lot of pizzas though.
And they
because
do.
the deals they run.
do sell because the cost
Yeah.
on pizzas is,
Yeah.
is pennies, considering the markup. But I always thought, I was like, I'm going to open up a pizza place just because, just to have the right kind of pizza,
Well, it's a good thing to have right now, especially if you do delivery.
I think as we get older, and we're all getting older except for George,
Can't eat pizza as much.
except for
but-
George. No, eat as much pizza as we want.
Oh,
you know?
no.
But
Just pay for it.
I just think that we probably are better off owning the paper than the business. So like owning Bitcoin or owning a percentage. So there's companies
So
out there that have,
Bitcoin dropped $1,000 like in the last 2 days.
yeah, I saw something ugly happen with the Bitcoin
Joe,
thing.
the Tuesday night guy that does all
Mhm.
enough about me, he says I cashed out the day before it dropped.
Did he really?
He cashed out of his Bitcoin the day he thought he thought in his head he was predicting a crash.
Mm.
And
So he was speculating.
oh no, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it didn't drop. It went up.
Yeah, it went up.
Yeah,
He wanted
it
it
went
went
up
up.
$1,000,
Oh.
and he cashed out a day before
He wanted it to
went
go
up.
down so he could rebuy it with the
He
same
thought
amount
it
of
was
money.
going to go down, so he cashed out,
Oh, and it went up.
and it went up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he says it'll probably level, but
Yeah.
But he was like one day.
Could've waited.
He says I'm cashing out. It's like that's
No, the whole market slid for a moment. So the day that Tesla and the Apple and all those guys split, and they had like a 5-for-1 split, and everything in the market was like, shoo. And then like maybe the next day or two, it wiped out all the market gains. Something
Mm.
happened. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
but own the paper. I think you're better off instead of opening up the sneaker shop, own the Nike, own the paper, or go find some of these pre-IPO companies that are about to take off. There's a drone out there that delivers pizza. There's there's some type of app that does this really cool thing, and you can find all of that stuff if you go over to Start Engine. That's where unsophisticated investors can jump in for pennies on the dollar.
Well, I
know?
mean, it's how much money do you have to risk? Because that's
It's a risk.
It's a speculation.
9 out of 10 of
know.
them are going to fail.
Yeah,
but I
because
mean,
you don't know.
Yeah, isn't it better though
Yeah.
to have you? But isn't it better to put your money there than to just like let it sit in the bank? It's not going to earn you anything. At least you have a shot there. I think.
Oh, it depends on, because the philosophy on the way I'm looking at it is there's so many things opening up because of the coins out there these days. I mean, if I can borrow at 1% and I can turn that around and earn 5% somewhere, that's a good return. And also too, you figure a standard credit card is what, anywhere from 15% up easily. I'll borrow at 1% to pay off a credit card all day long. That money that you're paying off in your debt is more of an earning than you're going to get anywhere else, anywhere. Okay, so
I don't know.
you're bringing real income back in your life.
This is a long
that you're going
game.
to pay out.
Yeah.
Well, no, it is.
Yeah, the long
sure.
game with like a company like an Uber or a company that's going public like Robinhood and some of the others. The long game there is just incredible. The amount
No,
of
I
know.
agree. It's just where do you start?
Start Engine.
The
WeFunder. That's where you go. Go to those places and find those pre-IPO companies and
oh yeah,
find out
definitely.
who's-
I mean, buying into a company that before they go public is your best bet because
Yeah.
you come into it with
exactly
real estate.
exactly.
And usually there's at least an initial pop.
Sure.
The
Always.
question is what
Always.
do you believe in the company or not? Or are you just waiting for the pop to sell
Yeah,
it?
and you're looking at the people that run it because they know
Yeah.
a group of A type investors and creators
Yeah.
can turn a B product into an A product. So you get behind some of those big boys. But yeah, there's a lot of companies out there that you can look at. A lot of
Oh, yeah.
ideas.
I've seen a few, and I've chosen not to go that route as of yet.
Mhm.
Because I'm trying to build sustainable, private bank. I want to be a bank.
Sure.
I don't want to have to be paying banks interest anymore because I would rather pay myself back.
There you go.
So
Yeah, a lot of people do that. Have a nice sized corporation,
Yeah.
maybe they're $200,000-$300,000 left over, and so they want to go and buy things instead of buying it on the credit card. You might buy it through the company, and then you pay the company back 3%
Yeah.
interest.
Sure.
Yeah, happens all the
yeah,
time.
I mean, you want to be paying yourself the interest
Yeah.
instead of allowing someone else to
Don't
collect
put it on the
interest.
credit card. Put it on the company, and then pay
Yeah.
the company back.
So update on my small business loan.
Mm.
They finally actually sent me paperwork. They finally sent me a bill.
Oh, really?
My first payment,
Okay.
predated, post-dated till June 2021.
So you don't have a payment until June.
I don't have a
21?
payment for another like almost a year.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Interesting.
Yeah. I was just like, looking at going.
Is it
"Oh,
is it
wow."
a $59 payment?
It's $100 payment.
But you know what's funny? It's gonna get here before you know it. But the big question is, where like did you do all those things you wanted to do to get ready to take that and turn that into a bigger number for yourself?
It's a lot. It's been going on this last month. So with this last week putting a pilot show together with somebody, and then prior to that,
Right.
Lots been going on. So I haven't
Sure.
really had 2 minutes to breathe, other than just kind of I'm waiting for the dust to settle.
I hear
and
you.
then I got to start. And I've been looking at things and going, all right, what do I do next? What's my next step? And that's something we can look at, that I'm going to be thinking about.
Cool.
But I figure there's certain monies have to go into certain areas to cover more bets,
Sure.
you gotta kind of cover some more bets, and so I'm thinking I'm in a good place now, just and of course business is starting to pick back up again.
Yes.
Or it's been pivoting. It's just taken a long time. It's like an old man in a walker. It's moving very slow.
Hope he's over
Really,
the hill.
it's been pivoting very slow, but
Yeah.
all of a sudden I'm picking up jobs, 3, 4, 5 jobs in the next couple of months. And it seems like these are jobs that would have been taken by bigger companies
Mm-hmm.
than mine. So I'm going, that's a good thing. Meaning people are shopping around, they're price shopping. They can't go with the guys who maybe they were overextended when it hit,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're scrambling, they're closing down, and they can't pivot as easily as somebody smaller can pivot.
The bigger companies may not have the
so-
full force of people to do the bigger productions either.
The webcasting game has definitely. I
Yes.
can't even buy cameras right now. I could not go to B&H and buy a camera. Everything's back ordered.
Wow.
If I need cameras, but
Is that coming from China? Is that part of it because of where it's coming from?
I think where it's I don't know. I think a lot of these cameras are coming out of Japan, or
Okay.
they're coming out of that side of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it's obviously COVID related. I could have, even the first 3 months, all these cameras were available, but I waited too long, and now everything's kind of on back ordered because which means that everybody and his cousin are starting up a webcasting business, but the idea is that I've hopefully been doing it longer and more cost effectively than a lot of these guys that are just pivoting now. The timing is everything in any business. You have to pick your time and jump.
You also have to stay on that cutting edge too, and deliver
Absolutely
great service. I mean, because if you think about it, how long has WebEx been around, and how long has GoToMeeting and things like that, and GoToWebinar, and then Zoom came along and just ate their lunch.
Yeah.
So
and you would have thought, if you bought into WebEx, if you bought into that 10 years ago and went, yeah, this is the biggest thing, and all of a sudden, Racetrack moved in across the street and took and you're dead, and you're dead in the water going, what happened? And now that Zoom, and I'm using StreamYard, which people are going, what's that? I'm going, well, you know what Zoom is? Well, it's the next best thing. It's the next
but
bigger
you can't
thing.
you can't do you actually can't do two things with Zoom. You can't do YouTube and Facebook at the same time,
which we are doing that right now,
with StreamYard. but this isn't a meeting software. The StreamYard.
Absolutely, it is.
Is it designed for people to have meetings? Okay.
And as soon as I
Make me smart.
as
Tell
soon
me
as
how it
as soon
works.
as I can get Jade to call in,
You hear that, Jade?
I have to she's got to be prepared, because I have to
Oh.
actually pull her in to StreamYard, much like Zoom. I can have like 10 currently with the pro plan I'm on. I can have like 10 participants on the monitor, so I can have 10 different locations,
And you can share your screen, like you can share
can screen share,
demonstration.
play a video, this,
Wow.
that, and the other. I used it about 2 months ago. My friend Maria, she was participating in a StreamYard
Mhm.
event, and I was helping her, so because I was getting her off using the little webcam thing,
Right.
and so I said, I'll set up my cameras, go into your laptop with good sound, good everything, and let's go ahead and let me help you do this. And I did. And she looked better than everybody else in the Zoom meeting or
Right.
StreamYard meeting.
Right.
So StreamYard's great. Right off the bat on the bottom, I've got a ticker going across the bottom, which Zoom does not do.
I may have to try that. I like that.
And they have a free account. So you can get in and try it for free.
Right.
I'm now paying for it because
Yeah.
I want some other things. But on top of that, I can stream in 3 different locations.
So Facebook, YouTube, and like,
There's an RTMP.
oh, perfect.
So if you have a private,
Yeah.
hosting, whatever.
So with an RTMP, you can stream right into your WordPress website, and you can make it password
Yeah.
protected. So you
Yes.
can password protect that page.
Thought you might like
And
that.
yeah,
huh?
I like that. I like that.
So
That's
now we
interesting.
can create it. So now I
Yeah.
can not only create, and that's not coming up. That's our recording out there. That's our raw recording,
Oh, okay.
which doesn't have any of the graphics. But here I've got the ticker going across the bottom
Right.
with the, with the phone number, which nobody called. But hey,
That's
screw,
okay.
screw you guys.
I'll tell my
blah,
mom
blah,
to
blah.
call it next time.
And then I've got the logo on the bottom of the ticker, and
Yeah.
and we can do a lot more branding
Okay.
with it.
Where does it max out? How many people?
You're gonna make me look.
No, it's okay, because
No,
I think
it's
that's where
okay.
Zoom
I
gets
can-
up. I think Zoom gets up to 100 after a period.
I
of
don't
time,
think
so
you'd
yeah.
ever want that. I think more than 9, like Brady Bunch, you got 3,
Yeah.
and 3. I don't think you'd ever want that.
Yeah.
If you want to participate in a meeting, then
So how did the Brady Bunch know how to use Zoom back in the 70s?
well, how did they do that
invented
without a
it.
computer?
They invented it.
So yes, I'm pretty new to StreamYard, but it's pretty great. When you want to pick your destinations and you want to add a destination, I can go to a LinkedIn event, I can go to Facebook group, profile page, YouTube, Periscope,
I remember Periscope.
Twitter. That's Twitter.
Yeah.
And Twitch and
I
custom
remember Twitch,
RTMP.
yeah,
So I
Twitch is-
could do all this with the account status. You get more features for more account, which
Okay.
means if you ramp it up. And yeah, we've gone over tonight. So
We have.
but yeah, StreamYard definitely fun. I'm hoping, since we haven't heard any screaming from the other room, that our stream is still up and going and all
Yes.
that. But yeah. So but everything's looking great. We're looking great. The next level up, if I want to spend more, we can stream in 1080. But I'm okay with 720p right
I
now.
think it's fine.
But once in a while, I'll have a client that's going to want 1080, and I'll have to ramp up my program. But I'm totally digging StreamYard, and one person can control who they let in, who they let out. Which, if you're doing convention, I was doing a lot of convention work back in the day.
Mhm.
Doing that, this is the next best thing.
Wow.
And I'm doing this for a client that I would normally be at a convention at a hotel doing this.
So that's what
I
I was going to
actually
ask you.
upsold him. And here's what I did. You'd love this. I actually said, I called him up because I usually he has an October event for his thing, normally at a hotel, and of course that got canceled.
Mhm.
So I usually call him in June, July, and saying, hey, what are we doing this year? Well, they didn't get back to me right away. So I'm thinking, yeah, they probably did the COVID dance and
Yeah, sure.
got rid of it. So, but somebody actually called me like deep into August, mid-August. And she called me and said, oh yeah, I was working from home, so I didn't get this message right away.
Mhm.
And so I said, what are we doing? What would you like to do? It's like, well, yeah, we're thinking about doing something. And as soon as I heard the word Zoom, I said, no. Can you get somebody else and take a meeting this week? And let me show you what I can do for you.
Mm.
Okay. So it was a couple days later. So I get in StreamYard an hour before the meeting, and I turn the webcast on. I get everything all set up. And then when they call me, I says, guys, are you at your computers? Are you at your laptops? They said, yes. tell you what, give me your emails. Let me send you a link. So let's get off the phone and let me show you what I'm talking about.
Mm.
So I got into StreamYard and I said, look, could you figure this thing out for yourself? Yes. But would you rather somebody who does it?
Yeah.
Pretty
Well, yeah.
much every day for the last couple of years.
Right.
Not every day, but
Sure.
now in the last 6 months, I've been doing it like every day. What would you rather? So, and I get them in there and we're bouncing and I'm going, there's 3 of us in a meeting and I'm going, okay, now here's what I can do. I can put this person, full
Wow.
screen. I could share a PowerPoint. Plus on my end, I've
You're
got
remote.
multiple cameras. So
Yeah.
on my end, it's not a web camera. On my end, it's my camera off, a
Yeah.
good camera with good microphones, good sound, and I can switch back and forth. I've got multiple inputs. So I can have a camera here. I could have a PowerPoint over here. And I don't need StreamYard for everything. But how many times have you watched Zoom and looked at their camera and it looks like hell? Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a crappy. It's the world's,
And they really need
it's
that
the
ring light.
world's cheapest. You can actually call it a camera because it does do
Yeah.
things a camera can do. But do you want to use that when you're delivering a message to 1,000
No.
of your employees? No, that's why they go to these conventions and they spend $1 million on a big show.
But wait, they could put it out. They could use StreamYard as an app on their phone, which is a better camera.
Better camera,
and
but
get
then
the
you're
ring
but
light.
then they're like
Yeah.
this and
With a tripod.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. With a
Okay.
tripod, you could probably do all
I'm
that.
asking for a friend. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
And then their phone, they forgot to charge their phone.
Oh,
They
wow,
forgot to do
yeah,
this.
yeah.
So within 30 minutes, they go, oh yeah, how much?
Yeah.
And then I go, "Bloop,
Yeah.
is this
There
much
you go.
money? It's like, I think this is a win.
Sure.
And now I just save them because they were probably going to have to figure out how to do a Zoom
Right.
in the next 6 weeks. And I
Yeah.
just basically said, I got
But do
this.
you
wanna,
understand that's where it's headed? Like when I talk about e-commerce versus brick and mortar,
Yeah.
this click and mortar is where it's headed. It's people who are going to use Zoom or StreamYard or other services versus okay, let's go give the convention $5,000. Let's rent hotel rooms. We've got to pay this tax. We got to plug this cord in. That's $1,100. Like the booth itself, all that. And it's just happening right virtually online and saving them tons of money.
Hey, WebEx is still out there. Cisco owns it.
Yeah.
They're not going to let it go. Let me look
No.
at what their joining fees are.
I'm sure
but,
they integrate it with
No,
their,
but they're
part of
you
it.
know, you're
Cisco
never
ain't
gonna-
no joke. Cisco's
Listen,
been around for years and blah blah
Well,
blah.
so was Blockbuster for a while too, and so Netflix ate their lunch too. And what is it that Netflix had an opportunity or Blockbuster had an opportunity to buy Netflix?
Mhm.
They came to them and said, "This is what we'd like to do," and Blockbuster turned it down.
Yeah.
So it's like,
May have been a good thing though.
no,
Well,
I don't
it
know
was-
about
it was-
that. I don't know.
well,
about-
at the
How is that a
time-
good thing?
Maybe they didn't have the foresight to handle what Netflix
and
actually
then
did.
and then Blockbuster
They may have
opened
run
it-
it
May
into the
not have
ground.
been a good
They
thing.
may have bought it and then
Yeah,
run it
they
into.
have.
Yeah, that's a good point.
and then
Absolutely right.
Blockbuster decided our last ditch effort is going to be let's create some vending machines
Yeah.
with our product in it.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen one of those in a
For a
long
while,
So the
they did
Redbox
okay,
is still
though.
popular.
And
I think.
Redbox is
Yeah.
still everywhere. You go
Yeah.
to a Walmart, 7-Eleven,
Right.
Redboxes are pretty much all around. And
Yeah.
they're doing streaming as well. They will do streaming. as well.
Blockbuster is doing Redbox.
No, Redbox is doing
Yeah.
streaming. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that Blockbuster, they screwed the pooch.
Yeah,
They
sure
did a new Coke kind of thing.
Yes.
That's that. Most people might not get that reference, but
Yeah,
when you change the ingredients to your business, that can be a problem. But
that is.
anyway, so I don't know. Next week, more things to come, right?
Come up with some more.
Yeah, you're gonna bring pictures of this.
I'm gonna try to make
bring
one.
those back.
I'm
You
gonna
want to try to make one?
Give me a
That's part
before
of
and
it.
after shot. Bring pictures back and send them to me so that we can post them. Or
Yeah.
I want to see what this
Ho-
person's doing.
Hopefully,
with
I
it.
can bring the product.
Yeah.
There you go. So that'd be fun. Anyway, we've gone way over time here. I didn't think we had it in us tonight, but we
We're good.
clearly have some stuff to say. Big shout out to StreamYard for taking us through this thing. Maybe we'll get them as a sponsor for us. Bringing them a lot lot of free publicity at the moment. So anyway, more to come, right?
Always.
More
All
to
right,
come.
guys. Thanks for joining. Jade, come back to us. We miss you. All right. Sean, take us out. Thanks. Goodbye.